Man, I wish this was meth. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I see that you stopped in to see me take a look at this. Let's get into it. So first of all, you might be asking, layers, hood, is it really that cold in my part of the world already? Well, no. Part one to that answer, I'm just a bitch. And two, deer season's coming up, so I'm getting used to wearing a bunch of layers with my kit. So when I've got 4 coats on here in about a month for deer season, I can still manipulate everything like I'm used to. Second thing you might be wondering, why am I holding an FAL and wearing kit set up for an AR? Don't worry about it, okay? Anyway, for what you're here for though, this guy right here. So I debated whether or not, or let me get you a better camera angle here. Okay, so here's my FAL. I can't remember if I put it on the channel yet or not, but anyway, this is a DSA SA58 receiver with a 20-inch barrel. This is my favorite gun pretty much of all time, but it wasn't the wood furniture like the cool old school FAL. It was just their synthetic stuff with the metal handguard, and it looked a little bland, so I decided to go with a more modern approach. I was wanting to find wood furniture, we couldn't, so I was like, screw it, let's do this instead. Let's go the other way. So I got the Picatinny dust cover, which based on what I've seen on the reviews, I'm pretty sure that only one company is making these. You can find them all over the internet, tons of websites, Amazon, everybody's selling them, different prices, different names, whatever. But I'm pretty sure that they're all made at the same place. So just find the cheapest one and buy it. So far, so good. As some of the reviews stated, there was a little bit of an issue getting it on. One of the tabs for the rail was a little bent, but not a big deal. It took me 30 seconds to get it on. So got the rail, painted the whole thing, as you see. Looks good. And then I had debated whether or not I wanted to do a red dot with a magnifier or if I wanted to go the LPVO route. The first experience I ever had with an LPVO, it was literally just holding it, just going like this, looking around. And it seemed like it was kind of hard to get in the eye box. Just, you know, bringing it up, looking through it, it seemed like it was going to be kind of hard. And so I was like, well, what's the point of having a 1X if you can't just whip it up and be right there behind it? You know, it just seemed like it wasn't actually going to be that fast. So I was wanting to go with the red dot magnifier route. Well, I got one, put it on a different gun, messed with it a little bit, and I was like, I don't know if this is the route I want to go with this thing either. So then I was like, screw it. I know a guy who's wanting to get rid of an LPVO. He's selling it cheap. Screw it, let's buy it. If nothing else, I'll throw it on an AR later. So anyway, here we are with the Vortex Strike Eagle 1-6. I don't have a ton of trigger time on it yet because 308's expensive and I've been super busy lately, but I have been liking it so far. So like I was saying with when you bring it up, just holding it in your hands, bringing it up, it seems like you're not lined up quite right, like it's going to be hard to just whip it up on 1X and be on your target. Well, in my experience, I think that was just because I was holding it and it was just, you know, trying to line up my hand to my eye. But when, you know, you're holding a gun that you've raised 100,000 times, hundreds, thousands of times, it helps you line it up way better. Now that I've actually got it mounted on something, I'm able to bring it up, boom, it's there. Yeah, no problem. So that was one of my big concerns, and not too worried about it. The only thing is, I do like to train everything I do right-handed and left-handed. Right-handed, it's no problem, boom, right there. Left-handed, I like red dots because it does feel kind of goofy. With the red dot, you know, it's very forgiving. It's very easy to bring it up and right there. With a scope, like if I'm using a 4-16 or something, presumably I'm not trying to do any speed shooting with that, so it doesn't really matter. But this is, you know, a scope, but I'm also trying to be fast. And when I try and do it quick left-handed, sometimes I'm a little bit off, but that's not an issue with the scope. That's just me sucking with an LPVO. So anyway, that's kind of just my overview of the concept. Now let's get into this scope in particular. All right, so first things first, cap turrets. Some people like that, some people don't, whatever. Not gonna make a big point out of that. The knob over here for the illuminated reticle is very easy to grab. It doesn't click per se, like you don't hear it, but it is still very positive. So I do like that. These came with the scope. They do flip up and out of the way, actually over. I've got lots of other covers to lots of other scopes that they stick up at 90 degrees and they're super annoying and they're always getting bumped. These seem like they're actually going to do something for once, but you know, a lot of people just rip them off anyway, so do what you will. I'm in my dungeon here at about 1 a.m. putting this video together, but one thing I wanted to add real quick is that a lot of times you'll see guys with the throw lever on the, whatever you call the deal that rotates over the scope to adjust the power, the zoom deal, whatever you call it, I don't know. But anyway, there's little levers to help you throw. I would 100% get one of those, and I plan to do that in the future. You know, a long range scope, you got all data zoom, doesn't really matter, but on an LPVO like this, where you want to be able to go from 1 to 6, 6 to 1 real quick, whatever. I don't know if it came, I didn't get it brand new. Maybe there's one in the box. I don't know. But whether you have it, whether it comes in the box or not, I would 100% get one. So just one quick thing I forgot to mention out in the field. As for how it looks behind the glass, it is, oh God, if I can get you joined up here. Okay, this is gonna be kind of weird. It's gonna be a little weird holding this, but yeah, anyway, you can get the point. So here we are at 100 yards on 1X, and the glass is pretty dang clear. It's not perfect. It's not, let's see, I got a 6-24 Arkin on my bolt action. It's not that clear, but it's way better than most of the other scopes I've used. So glass clarity is pretty great. There you can see the reticle shape. The crosshair does have out to 500 yard increments, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 500 yards. That's made for 5.56. This is a 308. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but it still is a general good guideline for me to use on this. All right, and you can see actually that the crosshair is not lined up with the sight perfectly. I did not realize it until I had already mounted it and thrown away the receipt and everything. But this cheapo mount that I bought from Cabela's is actually not perfectly centered on the rail. So that's kind of annoying at times, but that's not the scope's fault, so just go ahead and ignore that. Anyway, so it is first focal plane. So as I zoom in here, you know, you do see your front sight there on this. You are really going to see it with any sort of a AR front sight. It's going to be even more in the way, I would suspect. But as I zoom it into 6, great clarity still. I have shot this out to 500 yards, no problem. It was a very miragey day and I was still able to see pretty dang well. So glass clarity, especially on zoom, no problem at all. So you can still see the reticle there. Like I said, it did zoom in. You can see the hashes very well. This is with the illumination turned up all the way to 11. That is it. Oh, this is really hard to move the gun and the phone at the same time. All right, so that is it completely off there. Okay, as you can see, it's not super bright out. It is very cloudy today. The illuminated reticle, you can see it on 11, but as you can tell, it wasn't super bright. But the 1 power and 2 power do go very, very dark. When I'm in my office, it's completely dark in there other than a lamp. I can't even see the 1 and 2 brightness. The 1 and 2 is really made for when you're outside and it's like pitch black. So if it's super bright and sunny out, I think it would help if it was a little bit brighter, but when it's super bright and sunny, you don't need illuminated reticle, just turn it off. So I think realistically, the illumination does do everything you need it to do. But otherwise, let's get some clips and running it. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, I'm still at 100, obviously, running it on 1X right now, 1X, but this does have a little bit of fish eyeing. So I would say it's more like a 0.8x or something when you turn it all the way down. The target is very visible to the naked eye, but when I zoom all the way down to 1 and look at it, it's actually a little bit smaller. So I find if you leave it kind of about 1.5 area is actually, which makes it a true 1x at that point. But anyway, it's close enough. So anyway, let me show you snapping the gun up and getting some quick shots off, quick one taps. Okay, that was no problem at all, so I'm going to turn it up to 6 and do the same thing. Sent that one high. So, as you can see there, it's pretty easy to hit with this thing. 1 power, 6 power, whatever. The reticle is pretty conducive to quick shooting. The circular chevron gives you a lot of mass, essentially, to find in your scope. Makes it pretty easy to get on target pretty quickly. I still don't have a ton of rounds on this gun, and probably 40 rounds with this optic on so far. And you know, missing one there because I'm a total dipshit. Otherwise, this thing, it works good. You can see my cheek weld is here. I'm having to hold my cheek off a little bit. It does sit pretty high on this particular gun, but even then, it's pretty quick and easy to get behind. So I do like it. All right, so unfortunately, I've got some stuff going on behind me over here at the range, so I'm not going to be able to go out much past 100 right now today. But like I said, when I was out shooting at 500 yards, it was a very, looking for my brass, there was a ton of mirage that day, and I was able to see no problem out to 500. So you are definitely going to run out of magnification before you run out of lens clarity. That is a big thing I've been looking for lately in scopes, is flash clarity at max power, which granted 6 is not high power to have issues with, but still, no problem at all with that. So this is a little bit of a quick and dirty review, not super in depth, but so far I'm very impressed. I do really like this thing, and I will be sure to let you know if anything comes up in the future. So until next time, thanks for watching.